Look at this. We finally got some water here under Nickajack Dam. Beautiful fishing conditions. And this morning, because I'm a little bit upset and not myself, I forgot my camera. The whole box with all of the cameras and the batteries. And of course, look at this fat white bass. That's my new rod, new reel, new polyester line. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Maybe I'm just gonna make a few cuts with the phone. I drive a long way to come to the river, folks. I cannot go back to get the camera. I'm very upset, but I'll try to get over it and enjoy a day without camera, I guess. Might give you a few sneak peeks from what's going on though. Oh, come on. Please don't be a hot bite now. They're good size too. I don't know what to do now. Tell me what to do. Drive all the way back. Very upset. Beautiful fishing conditions. I'm starting to feel very, very upset. These are absolute tanks, folks. I switched to the hairy dingo because I haven't had a chance to test it versus white bass. Actually, I take that back. I did catch a ton of these guys when I was fishing with Richard Jean, but they were all dinks. And now I mean, look at the fatness of this fish. This ain't a hungry fish. Now, admittedly, you know, catching white bass on a lure doesn't mean the lure is good, because white bass will hit anything that moves. And in this case, this is not an exaggeration. They will hit anything that moves. Nevertheless, I want to have tested it, and I can tell you, after looking at it on live scope, the shape of the hairy dangle is extremely aggravating to white bass. Extremely aggravating. They cannot stand something like this. But okay, let's see how far we're gonna go today. So upset. Absolute tanks. I don't even know if I have had such a high average. These are all 14, 15 inches. Look at this. Touching for sure. Yeah, the hairy dingle will get them out of their skin because it's so hairy. I think it's just as appealing to white bass as it is to juvenile black bass. Here is more, folks. Amazing size, folks. I mean, you catch this on this rig. I mean, it's bending. Oh, look at this. It's bending over in your hands. I was thinking, difficult to fish from the bank though. They don't want to sit. This is not black bass. They don't want to sit by the mooring sails. You can't cast from the bank here. The bank, you can't even walk here anymore because the little strip where you could walk is underwater now. Maybe if you wait, but even there, that's a good cast to here. Difficult, but I'm here, I'm catching them, no camera. All right, we got some dinks too. Maybe a 10-incher, maybe, who knows. I'll show you everything as long as I have space on my phone. Here is something interesting. I switched to the Ruru for two reasons. First, to, you know, take a different shot. It got hooked through the mouth and into the net. I cannot pull it out now. Look, sometimes it gets very tricky like this. But I noticed something. I told you in the previous shortcut that white bass will hit anything that moves, and I stand by these words. Especially if you not just twitch it but jerk it, like jig it, like in bass fishing, do like sharper, like 1 foot moves, 2 feet moves that are too much for a bluegill. But they kind of, white bass kind of scan the environment, and if something jumps, it just pops on their radar and they will shoot out of the school and snap it precisely because it kind of jerked. So as long as you jerk anything, white bass will eat it and you will catch fish easily with the Ruru. That said, I can tell you folks, on a live scope, if you're just gonna hold the lure and you kind of slowly dragging or slowly moving because you don't even know that there is white bass there, it is easier with the hairy dangle, folks. Because the hairy dangle, even when it's sitting in the water, everything is kind of moving, and it's enough to trigger a white bass. And with the Ruru, you cannot just hold it or drag it or not move it. You have to jerk it, you have to work it, you have to do the work with the Ruru. Keep this in mind. This is not a passive fishing bait. Okay, let me let this guy go. Man, look at this bass, folks. I might keep this one. This is a 2-pound bass. Look at the belly. It looks like a hybrid. This is my drop shot now. I have something like a viral drop shot rig video. I'm gonna put it in the description. Viral for me anyway, more than 100,000 views and so many subscribers and so many thumbs up. Anyway, here is another tip for you. This is a drop shot rig. When you fish drop shot rig, at least for white bass, here is a tip for you that I will have the integrity to tell you that I heard this tip from Tactical Bassing. On YouTube, everybody steals from everybody. Nobody gives credit to anyone. And I have to tell you, for a 20,000 subscriber channel, I'm one of the channels on YouTube from which the most content, or at least ideas, are stolen. You people know who you are. I don't mind the using of the ideas, but giving somebody a little credit, it's not gonna make you look bad. Believe me. If anything, it looks good to give somebody credit. But here is what I heard from Tactical Bassing. When you fish a drop shot, you don't have to fish it classically, like drop it on the bottom and twitch it or jig it or jerk it or work it with contact on the bottom. What you can do is swim it. You can absolutely swim it. I swam this white bass out of the school. If you see a cloud on live scope, I apologize, it doesn't matter if you see it on live scope or not, but if you see a cloud of white bass here on live scope, because this is 7 grams of tungsten here, it's very easy to cast quickly. It sinks quickly. It's very easy to control. Just the control is amazing. You can cast it on the other side of the cloud. Don't twitch nothing. Just swim it straight through the cloud. Or the first time, if you really have the control, swim it right on top of the cloud. Just swim. Zero twitch. Yes, the lead is under, but the Kitech on the jig head hook here, in my case, in my rig, it swims perfectly. You do not even need to twitch. So keep that in mind. If you fish from the bank, you can absolutely bomb a Kitech with a drop shot rig, and then you can just swim it. It's not a problem, at least for white bass. I can guarantee you, because I see them on live scope. There is no problem swimming it through a white bass school. You will catch them just the same. I don't know how it is for black bass though. If you can swim it, maybe if they're grouped up and competitive, maybe you can get them, but a single fish might not work with. But depends on what you're fishing for. I'm gonna keep this fish. Let's see the next one. Man, this guy ate it so deep that how can you eat it so deep on a drop shot rig? It's kind of difficult to inhale because, you know what I mean, it's kind of, the line is in the way, but he ate it. And I just switched the color of the Kitech too, because here's a tip for you. When you fish on a drop shot rig, on a jig head hook or whatever hook, you cannot trim the Kitech the same way you keep trimming it on a jig head. You want the entire Kitech lure all the way to the front where it has like a little head, because it just looks more realistic to me. So if the head is kind of torn up, don't throw the lure, put it in your little tray that you keep those damaged Kitechs, and you can use them later on the BG1 1.5 number 8 or on the 2.0 number 8. They will fit on those perfect. But here, when the Kitech gets damaged, just replace it with a new one. As another tank, folks, I'm telling you, swimming the Kitech with a drop shot absolutely works. Where is my weight? Where is the tungsten? Don't tell me you ate the tungsten. And by the way, some people said in that video that the angle, because the jig head hook keeps the hook always at a 90-degree angle relative to the line, that when you're swimming it, now it's a little bit upward and that bothers the fish. What nonsense! Why does the fish, first of all, have to be completely horizontal? And second of all, just test it. Test it and tell me that it bothers the fish. I have caught, I don't know how many fish like this. Which fish does it bother? You know, if I remove this now, I can show you. No, even before I remove it, look at the line. It is not kinked. Watch the drop shot video. It is not kinked. It is straight, because the jig head hook holds the entire thing so rigid and strong that you can fish all day without kinking it. That said, because my drop shot rig is on the Kistler crappie rod, which I probably will put in my shop to sell in the very near future, I will keep fishing with the Ruru now, just because the Ruru is on my new JDM toy, just because of that. And I want to fish with that toy, so enough drop shot tips. Man, what a tank, folks. I don't know how it looks on video, but tank. But yeah, enough drop shot tips. Let's switch back to the tungsten and the Ruru. Ha! Ha! Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Houseboat. I saw these houseboats on Dale Hollow. Cost like $350 a night. I want to rent one to do carp fishing there in May. Dale Hollow has 40, 50, 60 pound carp. It's been my dream to catch one of these there. Look at this. If you have the space, if I had a shed to keep one of these, it's not about the money. I can absolutely buy and make one of these. But where are you gonna keep it on your property? Look at this. That's amazing for carp fishing or whatever fishing you have. Huh. Fun day on the water anyway, folks. How the hell did I get this thing? That Ruru jig is huge. And there we go. That's a little better. I have to tell you, I am not noticing a correlation, not today anyway, between what jig I'm throwing or what technique and the size of the bass that I'm catching. You would think that if you go from a little dangle to this big Ruru or the 2-inch Kitech, no, the bass are all about this size, a couple a little bigger, and actually the smallest yellow bass we caught on the Ruru. So strange, but that's what I'm observing today. Man, that's another tank, folks. Absolute tank. That's 15 inches guaranteed, might be 15 and a half. The Ruru is completely gone. My goodness me. I'm taking this one home too. It's 2 fish for 4 pounds today. That's my harvest. My goodness me, folks, look at these things. I mean, just look at these things, folks. You know, folks, I'm gonna make this the last fish of this video, because even though I'm showing none of the fights and only the fish, I think because of the tips that I put in the video, this video is already long enough. So if I wanna keep, fishing, I'm gonna have to begin to be selective about what fish I showed in the video and what fish I didn't show in the video. And I can tell you honestly, I love you guys. I can tell you honestly, I showed you in this weird video. You can say whatever you want, but I showed you every fish that I caught, and the tips that came up while I was showing you the fish were completely spontaneous. This is not what I meant to do today, such a video. But worry not, next time I'm gonna have a nice camera and I'm gonna show you the fight again. But if you did watch this video all the way to the end, thank you guys very much, and hey, peace.